Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball, and I'm by myself today because Ernie took the day off today. But we still have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about today because baseball goes on for 162 games, and today, of course, we get to talk about the Wild West. What's happening in the Wild West? There's two teams, there are three teams, or four teams in the AL and NL that shouldn't be there, but they are there. We'll talk about it, of course, and we'll talk about the weekend recap. And of course, have you seen the baseball documentary on Netflix? The Red Sox are part of it, so we'll talk about that one too. Also, we'll talk about there's an injury with the Cubs. Justin Steele got injured, and he's going to have ending season surgery. So, are the Cubs looking to try to trade for a player, a starting pitcher? Because it looks like they need a pitcher right now. And Justin Steele is one of those things where he's an ace. Who else is out there for them? And I believe Alcantara has been one of those pitchers that's been connected to the Cubs, Yankees, among others. But I just feel maybe the Cubs are going to pull the trigger now. They have a lot of players down in the farm system that can go ahead and fill that spot. But who knows? We'll see what happens. And of course, we'll talk about the Wild West, like I said, the NL and the AL. But first, let's go through the recap, which is we'll start with the AL, and we'll talk about the Royals and Guardians. And the Guardians took two out of the three. Of course, Chris Bubick took his first loss and 2-1 record. He's only pitching .96 ERA. I know it's early in the season, but he's doing pretty good though. So we'll see as the season goes on. And then the Yankees and San Francisco Giants had a head-to-head series. So the San Francisco Giants did take that 2-1. They were losing today, and they came back and they got the win, which is really good. Robbie Ray is the pitcher for Friday. He is 3-0, pitching a 2.93. So I think it's crazy for the Giants. I didn't expect them to be there in the top of those standings, but we'll get into it once we talk NL West. The Red Sox and White Sox. The Red Sox were about to get swept by the White Sox. So Crochet did pitch a good game today. He allowed one hit. He almost went through it with a no-hitter, but he lost it. So he is pitching 1.38 ERA. So he's doing what he needs to do. So it looks like he's owning up to try to be the Cy Young winner at the end of the season. So still a lot to talk about. A lot of baseball to talk about, of course. Braves and Rays. The Braves can't find it. The Rays won 2 out of 3 in that series. And it looks like Chris Sale is not doing all that great. Of course, he's 0-2, 6.63 ERA. Man, what's going on with Sale? So he needs to try to get it going, or maybe he's waiting for Spencer Strider because he doesn't feel like there's enough pitching in the Braves. And of course, Acuna's not back yet. So once that happens and they continue this way, would they get rid of the team? We'll see. Hopefully they don't. They're still a young squad, and the season's still early. So we'll wait and see. The Angels and Astros, and this is one of the topics we're going to talk about because we do talk about the Angels being one of the teams being on top, and they're in first place right now. So I know they lost the series, and it's one of the series where they went to Houston. They only had one series at home so far. So for the Angels, they lost 2 out of 3, and it's okay. It's not one of those things where you look at the team and you're saying, okay, they already lost it. They're going to continue to lose. No, they haven't been at home. They're going to continue to go be on the road. They have a series against Texas. And then after the series with Texas, they go back home and they face the Giants. So we will have to wait and see as the season the season continues to see if the Angels are the real deal, of course. And then we got the Tigers and Twins. The Tigers took that one 2 out of 3. Mice is 2-1 with a 2.60 ERA. He's doing really good. Then the Rangers and Mariners. The Mariners swept the Rangers. That's why they're not in first place. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing for the Angels. So we'll see that. We'll see what happens. Of course, the Mariners. That's one of Ernie's top surprises teams to make the playoffs, and they swept the Rangers. One of the teams that we feel that can go all the way this year because you have Corey Seager on that team. You have Garcia on that team. You have so many players that can go ahead and make you go further into the postseason. So, yeah, Then we got, of course, the Mets and Athletics. We got the Mets taking 2 out of 3 on that one. And Senga is 2-1 with a 1.06 ERA. So he's doing pretty good. And then you got the Blue Jays and Orioles. It got rained out on Friday, but they did split the series. They're going to make up that game later on in the season. You got the Pirates and Reds. The Reds, of course, swept that series. Hunter Green, he has a 2-1 record, 0.98 ERA. Can you believe that? He's doing pretty good. Nationals and Marlins. Of course, the Marlins took 2 out of 3 on that one. And Gore, remember, he had 13 Ks at the beginning of the season against the Phillies. Now he's kind of struggling a little bit. He's 1-2, 3.5 ERA. So I guess it doesn't last that long, but Gore is a promised player. So remember when he was with the Padres thought highly of him, got traded to the Nationals, and we're waiting for him to show up and to be the big pitcher that he's supposed to be. Then we have the Phillies and Cardinals. The Phillies lost 2 out of 3 on that one. Wheeler is 1-1, 4.07 ERA. It's too early in the season to say that, they lost to the Cardinals and it's time to throw it away. Like, no, it's not. The Phillies are doing all right. There's still a lot of season to go. Then you got the Rockies and Padres. The Rockies does not score any runs this series. Can you believe that? Like, I just feel like the Padres have everything clicking for them. The pitching staff is not allowing any runs. You have Michael King pitching today. He pitched the whole 9. When have you heard a pitcher go all 9? I know Evaldi did it earlier in the season, and now Michael King. So are the Padres ever going to lose any other games with a 13-3 record? It's looking pretty awesome right now for the Padres. Then you have Brewers and D-backs, and that one 2 out of 3. The D-backs took that one. And then the Cubs and Dodgers. The Cubs took 2 out of 3 on that one. They won the series. The game just finished now. So Yamamoto did pitch pretty good on Friday. He has a 1.23 ERA. He's 2-1. So, I mean, they're doing what they need to do. It's just early in the season, and a lot of people are hitting the panic button. Don't hit the panic button yet. For those teams that's supposed to be on top, I think it's too early for you to be like, it's not the right time to panic. We just have to wait. All right, let's get into it, man. I wanted to talk about the series on Netflix, the Boston Red Sox, and the name of that one is The Clubhouse, A Year with the Red Sox. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's time to go see it, because you get to see the side of a baseball player that we don't get to see off. Like when we see a baseball game, we get to see the player trying to produce, trying to make a play, and sometimes they mess up, and all fans, including myself, start getting on these fans, start booing them, and that's not right. Like when you get into the series and you start seeing the player and we start seeing different backgrounds of what they had to do to get to the big leagues, you start feeling and understanding what they're doing. So for most of these players from the Red Sox, it's kind of like, it feels like everybody had a struggle. Everybody has something to deal with. Everybody has like an issue that they got to work on and they got to be better at. So for some of these players like Bayo, I think, and I don't want to spoil it for you because I don't want to say it, but Alex Cora, everybody knows he's a manager, and of course he's an amazing person. When you see this documentary, you see all this stuff, like, it's crazy, dude. It's really crazy. So I just feel like maybe if you guys start understanding and seeing this documentary, you guys will understand a baseball player a lot better. They're not the old fat baseball players we had back in the day. They're all ripped. They're all working out. They're all, it's all pretty cool. So we'll talk about it more when they start releasing other teams, and hopefully they do other teams. I know if you're a Red Sox fan, we really appreciate this. And of course I appreciate it because I'm a baseball fan, and if you're a baseball fan, you appreciate it as well. So I would suggest you guys watch that. Another one that I want to talk about is the Wild West. We want to talk about the AL. Let's start with the AL. And we want to talk about the Angels, of course. So before I get to the whole story with the Angels, you guys
got a lot of your friends coming out to the weekend celebration. This ball 2-0 pitch. Look at Trout. Trout's claiming interference.
That might be in his glove. That's the old
the
Mookie Betts play from the World Series.
Yeah, he did. Did he have it first, right?
Yeah, it was in
Different story if he caught it and then the fan took it away.
right there. It looks like it's in his glove.
It's crazy. So that's a crazy thing. Like a lot of people are kind of saying that this was similar to the Mookie Betts that happened in New York in the World Series last year. And what I don't understand is that everybody was saying, okay, well, the fan had the, I guess, the right of way to get the ball. And I know he does, but Mike Trout had the ball in his glove. And then the fan took it away from his glove, not like aggressively and not pulling on it like hard like they did in New York. But I think it was an out. I think when they go review it, they should call it an out because he had it in his glove and then he went down. And as soon as that his glove went down, right there on outside, you can see the fan kind of reach in for it. So I kind of feel like, why are they trying to make it look like it wasn't? And then, of course, Mike Trout, the good guy he is, he went and talked to the fan and he told him, like, you did the right thing. And I don't know if Mike Trout felt a little bit embarrassed because after the play, he looked like he was frustrated with the fan on the field. So I don't know. I just felt like maybe it wasn't out. And we just have to, I just think because we have replay, we should have replayed it a lot more and see it wasn't out. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think? I just feel like maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I just didn't like that play. And I honestly feel like, man, it's an out. It's an out. So whatever. Let's talk about the Angels, man. The Angels are in first place, and we haven't had the Angels be in first place since I believe in 2018 when they had that hot start, and that's the last time they had a good record. So for a lot of Angel fans, I know Ernie likes to not say that, oh, they're in first place. He doesn't want to talk about them. And I'm just like, look, if you're a fan of the team and they're playing good baseball, why not say, hey, my team is doing good? And I know it's early in the season, and I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's early in the season. They've done this before. They can fall apart, whatever. Well, enjoy it. You don't know if they're gonna fall apart or not. He's enjoying it right now. Enjoy it. Enjoy the Angels being in first place because we don't know if they're going to continue. And if they continue, you need to start thinking about, are they going to start trading for players, which is a good thing, right? So it becomes happiness. So I don't think they should be. I don't think they should. Any Angel fan should be ashamed of what's going on or staying quiet because of that. I think they should be, celebrating that their team is doing way better than what they have in the years before. But getting into the baseball part of the Angels, Ron Washington, if you guys don't remember, the beginning of the season, he decided to tell the players to not have their cell phones in the locker room. And that's a change for their locker room because that's an old school mentality. I know when I played baseball, there was no cell phones because they weren't priced correctly to where I can afford it. Even in high school, I didn't have that. So uh, I think Ron Washington wanted to change a little bit of the culture, which I feel he has. With the players that he has, of course, you have a leader in Mike Trout that can go ahead and do a lot of wonders out there, and if he stays healthy, it's gonna be pretty cool for the Angels. But moving forward, I think the next series with the Angels are going to be in Texas, and this is where they need to hold on to try to see if they win the series because they lost the series against the Astros. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, they had easy series. They started with the White Sox, they went to the Cardinals, and it's okay that it happens that way. But they're supposed to win those series if they're a good team, right? If they're a bad team, then they'll lose those series and they get laughed at. So they were supposed to win those series, go to a tough Astro team. I know they're not doing all that great, but you're supposed to split or you're supposed to at least, not get swept. And they didn't get swept. So I think it's a win for the Angels, even though they didn't win the series. Now they go to Texas. If you win that series, then that becomes where it start noticing the Angels and say, okay, they're for real. They can take the West. It's I just don't like that comment. All right, so then we got Jorge Soler batting 241, 4 home runs, which he hit a home run today, 8 RBIs, and OPS 817. He's doing what he needs to do to keep the Angels there. If he could get his batting average to 250, 260, I think he's going to be okay for the Angels. Then Mike Trout, 6 home runs. His batting average is not all that there, but it's at 196, 14 RBIs, which you expect from Mike Trout, and then you have an OPS of 926. And this is what we want Trout to do. Of course, his batting average needs to be a little bit higher, and it is going to be a little bit higher because that's not representative of Mike Trout. Mike Trout is a 280, 310 hitter, and he can get there. Of course, he hasn't played a full season, and that's where we're waiting to see if he can go ahead and play 140, 145 games. If he can do that, then the Angels are going to be a real deal. Then you have Logan O'Hoppe, of course. You know, who doesn't know who he is? He's batting 333, 5 home runs, 9 RBIs, an OPS of 1.014. That's crazy. So the Angels are going through the right path. And of course, if you haven't heard Kyron Paris, they mentioned him in the last show. Is he the real deal? He's going to stay hot. He's batting 368, 5 home runs, 8 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, and a 1.309 OPS. So these are the guys that need to keep going. You have your under guys that need to start to step it up. And I think they will, because when you start clicking and when you start doing things in the clubhouse with changes like Ron Washington has done, I think it's a positive thing for them. You got Darno. Yeah, you're. Let me go ahead and put Neto's comment. Yeah, Darno is on there as well. But he hasn't played all those games because you have O'Hoppe doing pretty good. So he is a backup, but he is a leader. He's been to the championship. He's been to the playoffs. So you need that old mentality to kick in for the Angels to try to get the Angels into the playoffs. So thank you, Neto, for that, dude. Yeah, that I forgot about him. So then I'll go ahead into the pitching, and this is where I feel that the pitching needs to step up for the Angels, because the Angels have pitchers that are doing well, but then you have your top other pitchers that need to step up a little bit more. You have Tyler Anderson, that's pitching a 4.0 in 2 games. Kyle Hendricks before today's game, because he pitched today and he didn't do all that well. But before today's game, in the 2 starts, he had a 1.64. Now he has a 4.02. He had 8 strikeouts, and of course, he did good for the Angels and did what he needed to do for the Angels. Of course, you have the other one pitcher, Kikuchi. This is where I feel that he needs to step up. He's pitching a 5 ERA in the 3 starts. He's 0-2. Now, if you get Kikuchi starting to pitch better, you get Tyler Anderson to step up to help Jose Soriano, which he has a 2.70 and a 2-1 record. I think the Angels are going to be in good shape. So you have your top pitchers that need to step up that are not doing it. And I think they will once they settle down. The season's too early for that. And of course, the last Kokowaks is 3.7 ERA in the 2 starts. He's one of those guys that needs to step as well. But I think the 5th starter, it's always the one that's going to have a little bit of a higher ERA. And you have your bullpen to do that. And your bullpen, you're looking at Kenley Jensen is leading the charge in the bullpen for the Angels. So you have that veteran presence. He has a 450 saves. So that doesn't come easy. As he's getting older, it seems like he's getting a little bit of more energy to pitch better at the end of the game. So I think the Angels are in the right path. I just feel like maybe a lot of people are not giving them credit. I think they should be giving them credit. The Rangers are not playing up to where they need to play. If you want me to go through some numbers that they have, it's not looking too good for the Rangers, because you have Corey Seager that's not doing all that great yet. So I know he's one of those players that likes to step it up at the end, but it's not looking too good for them. So let me go ahead and put it on here and show you guys what I mean, because I honestly think that if the Rangers don't start winning some games and start taking off with the division, because remember, the Astros are there, and we don't know what the Astros are going to be doing, because the Astros are a team that always step up when they need to step up, and we're kind of tired of that. I know they got rid of Tucker. I know they don't have their pitching Verlander anymore. So maybe that's a good thing for for the Angels. So let me go ahead and go through the ERA, the pitching that they have in Texas. Eovaldi is the one that's leading the charge with 2.55 ERA. With there, you have, of course, DeGrom that's not doing all that great. And this is where he needs to start stepping up. I know he had Tommy John surgery. I know he's coming back from injury. I know he wants to step up and be the pitcher, but I guess you got to give it a little bit of time. But when you go to the hitting, and this is where I kind of feel like the hitting, it's struggling a bit, because you have Corey Seager that's hitting 231 when he's a 260, 270, 280 hitter. And he's hitting under. He's 231. He's the one that's leading the charge with the Rangers. And you have Adolis Garcia, 216. Then you have Jake Berger, 151. Then you have Marcus Simeon, 123. And then you have Jock Peterson. You went in the offseason and signed Jock Peterson for the veteran presence because he's won 2 World Series with the Dodgers and the Braves. So I just feel like maybe they need to start stepping up. They haven't done it, and this is the time for the Angels to step up and win this next series. And like what I said at the beginning of the show, the Angels haven't played more than one series in this season. They've only played 3 games against the Guardians at home. So give them some credit, guys. I think this is a Angels team that can do a lot of damage. And, we will have to wait till next week and see if this is a real deal, because now they're facing teams that are going to be potentially playoff contenders. So we'll wait and see, and hopefully you guys answer this stuff here. So thank you guys for watching. I'm by myself today, so if I'm going through all these topics quick, it's because I don't have my partner today, and I've never done this show on YouTube by myself. So yeah, well, hang with me. Let's go to the NL West. And the NL West, the Padres are leading the charge in that one. I know a lot of people are saying, well, they're playing the Rockies. They're playing, teams that are not 500, are not supposed to even make it to playoffs. Like I said, when you're playing those teams, they should win those series. They should sweep. They should win 2-1. They should not split if it's a 4-game series. They should win 3-1. So that's what the Padres are doing. They're playing small ball. They're playing long ball. I know they're not leading in home runs, but they are leading in batting average as a team to be in first place. So for the Padres, I think their pitching's correct. They're doing everything they need to do. Like I said, Michael King pitched a whole full game today, and they blanked the Rockies all series. And they're hitting. Tatis could be an MVP just the way he's doing it. If you haven't seen the Padres play for the past 3 seasons, I don't know what you're watching. So I think that's the crazy part. Like, they're an exciting team. And Neto's saying the Padres moved to 10-0 at home, and that's incredible. That's really incredible. If you're a Dodger fan, of course you hate it. If you're a Giants fan, of course you hate it, because the Giants are in second place in that division, and that's one of the teams that are really surprising right now. I know they haven't played a full season yet, but they are winning. They beat the Yankees. Hung-Yu Lee hit 2 home runs today to spark up the win against the Yankees today, and they're up there. They're in second place. So I just think that maybe the problem with so many people right now is that the season's too early. But if you start off the way they're starting and they continue to do this, does that become a fluke? Does that become something serious, or does that become something that, it's still too early. I want to say something, because the Phillies have this thing that they don't worry about baseball until later on in the year. They worry about baseball, I guess, mid-season, and that's when it starts counting for them. So it is a long season. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But for these teams that feel like they need to go ahead and get that W's in before those other teams start stepping up, I think the time is now, and they're doing it right. The Giants are doing what they need to do. So let me go a little bit on what's going on with the Giants. You have Young-Hoo Lee, who's batting 327, the son of the wind. He didn't play last year. He's doing great things this year. You have Mike Yastrzemski, that's been with the Giants for a long time. He's batting 316. You have Wilmer Flores, one of the veterans in that team. Did not expect him to hit 6 home runs, but he's doing it. He's batting 280, and you're not supposed to be hitting 280. You're supposed to be hitting under, but he's doing it. And then Heliot Ramos, I know he's hitting 228, but this kid can play. He showed it last year. He was in the rankings to hit, or I believe last year's batting average was at 306, and he's doing good. Matt Chapman needs to step it up. Willie Adames needs to step it up. And if those 2 guys step it up in batting, there's no way, or there's no telling what the Giants can do. And this is what is scary about the Giants, because you have players that are not supposed to be hitting the way they are now, and the guys that are supposed to be hitting are not doing it. And that's what's scary, man. So Lamont Wade Jr. is one of those players that you don't know where he's going to go. He has a good week and then he doesn't. He has a whole month off, and then he goes off in 1 month. So this is where the Giants are at. And then you look at, of course, their pitching. When you look at their pitching, a lot of people don't uh, don't think that they have a good pitching staff. But when you're looking at the pitching staff, you have Logan Webb, Justin Verlander, Jordan Hicks, Robbie Ray, and I'm forgetting someone. Um, I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So the Giants look like a pretty good team, if you ask me. And if they're doing all this right now, wait till they start playing the Dodgers, which is one of the teams that everybody wants to beat. Wait till you start seeing the games against the Padres. Wait until you start seeing games against the D-backs, because this is a pesky team. And when I mean pesky, it's just one of those teams that you don't go into the series thinking that they're going to beat you up. No, yes, they're going to go into your series. They're going to go into your home and they're going to try to sweep you, and they take 2 out of 3 when they're out of there. And that's what I mean. Pesky means like pesky, like we could have won that game, but they didn't. And the Giants are pulling these pesky wins, and that's what they need. And I think they can go a little bit further if if the season continues, of course. All right. I feel like I'm talking a lot. If you have a question, go ahead and post it on here. If you haven't done so, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are live. I just feel like I'm yapping away. I'm too excited, I guess. This is the first time I'm doing it solo. I said that already, but I just want to go ahead and say it again if you're on here for the first time. So what else do I have? I went through a lot of stuff and I burned through a lot of stuff. So yeah, the season ending injury to Justin Steele is a shocker. A lot of people were thinking that maybe he's not going to go on the shelf, but he is. And the contract trade, like I said, is going to be a big one if they move on it. And they have the Yankees, because Garrett Cole's not there either, and the Yankees look like they need a pitcher. Got 87 record, doesn't look all that great. So we'll see if that happens before the July deadline. And I feel like that's going to happen because there's a lot of traction, and to try to get them on board and try to get, I guess, a World Series title, because I know the Yankees are tired of not getting that championship, and the Cubs, they only have that one 2016. They built the team to win a lot of World Series in that time era, and now it's time to trying to build another team to win the World Series, which I think they got a good team as well. But you add another ace to that staff, it's going to be crazy. So yeah, and I think I ran out of everything I needed to talk to about today, because usually when Ernie's here, I talk about 30 minutes, he talks about 30 minutes, and we let it go. But definitely, I really appreciate you guys being on here. And yeah, I'll leave it alone. So from all of us here on Real Talk Baseball, I'm Carlos Baseball, signing out.